All right, guys, we are here doing a functional range conditioning, internal rotation, hip strengthening exercise. So, I love functional range conditioning. It's known as like a movement supplement to your yoga, training, any kind of sport you do. Really great for injury recovery and injury prevention. So let's check it out. See how you like it. So we did external rotation in another video. So if you haven't checked that out, you can do that already. It tends to be a little easier than internal rotation. But for internal rotation, you're going to set up the same way. So we're going to start in what's called 90-90. All right, so remember, we're going back to geometry. What is a 90-degree angle? It's a right angle. So look at your front knee and think 90 degrees and put knee in front of your hip. So a lot of people will tend to like put the knee off towards the side one way or the other, but knee is going to be in front of your hip. And then even more importantly is what your back leg is doing. So for me, I have left leg in front, right leg in back. I recommend you start the same way. And the right leg is also going to be at 90 degrees. So knee is going to be in front of your hip and you're going to be at 90 degrees here. And then you're going to rotate towards your back leg. Now, if this is difficult, you can always grab a folded blanket or a little pillow and sit on the pillow. And that'll make it easier to be in this position. But I'm going to start my timer here, and we're just going to hang out in this position. It's recommended to hang out for about 2 minutes. I'm probably going to shoot for about 1.5 minutes for the video, but in your own personal practice, if you like this exercise, you can think of holding the static position for about 2 minutes. So in this static position, we're here right now. I don't want you to really think you have to do anything. It's just a passive stretch. So let me rephrase that. You don't have to do anything. It's just a passive stretch. You want to think tall, long spine. You're going to feel this in your inner thigh on your right side. It's a weird position because we don't internally rotate our hips a lot, and it's not their natural position. Your hips are naturally a little bit externally rotated. But the really cool thing is that when you train internal rotation, it not only strengthens your internal rotation, but it also strengthens your external rotation. So it's a cool little trick that when you train that inward activity, it not only improves your inward ability to rotate, but also your ability to externally rotate. Fun little hack there. All right, so we're in this passive stretch for about 15 more seconds. And in a moment here, we're going to start our progressive angular isometric loading. So recheck your form. You got a 90-degree angle in your right knee. You're shifted towards your back leg. Your knee is in front of your hip. And what I want you to start doing now is driving your foot and shin down into the ground. Now, in order to help you with this, you can start to engage your body. So you can make fists with your hands, you can engage core, but the action is driving the foot down into the ground. You want to start to increase the load internally, and you're going to start to fire up all the muscles on the inner edge of your leg. If you feel sharp pain or pinching, you can stop the exercise, grab a pillow, or just skip this for today. I don't want anything to be causing sharp pain, but otherwise drive that foot down into the ground. Breathe for 4, as much as you can for 3, 2, 1. Awesome. All right, let that go. Now we're going to do regressive angular isometric loading. Let me just tell you, you are not going to go anywhere. However, it is the action, the effort that's going to create the engagement. So I want you to try to push your foot, lift your foot up by rotating your leg. You're not going to move. You're not going to move at all, but you are going to connect your brain to the muscles that are going to do that, and you're going to start to feel this in the outer edge of the leg, specifically the hip. You're trying to rotate your hip so that your foot comes up. My foot, it literally isn't going anywhere, but I'm trying as hard as I can. Breathe here for 4. Try as hard as you can for 3. Awesome. Rotating that hip to lift the foot. Try as hard as you can for 2. And 1. Okay, relax. Beautiful. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Great work. All right, let's come out of that stretch so you can slowly face towards the front. We really worked that hip capsule, so move nice and slow. It's going to feel like a little maybe sore, like you would if you just did an exercise in the gym. And then you're going to come out of that position And we're going to go to the other side before we save the work with our rotation. We're going to save the work at the end by doing a controlled articular rotation. All right, so other side. So let's see, let's restart our timer here. I want you to set up just the way we did before. So front leg is at the 90-degree angle. It's not super important what your front leg is doing, but just for good measure, 90-degree angle, knee in front of hip. And then you're gonna rotate towards your back leg. And this is now my left leg that I am working. So I have my knee in front of my hip, and I have a 90-degree angle in my knee. So notice here, if you're kind of short like this, you're in a really small angle. You want to bring that shin out to 90 degrees. If it's too hard, your different sides of your body might not be perfectly the same. That's okay. You can always grab a pillow or a blanket. And then I'm going to start my timer on this side. And we're just going to hang out. You can chill out. I didn't mention it on the other side, but you can rest your hands down if you need. No problem. Really important also here is breath. Obviously, I've been talking a lot, so I'm naturally breathing, but you're probably just listening. So make sure that you are breathing. Sending your breath into your hip is really powerful and helpful for this passive stretch. And we're just chilling out. I've had people tell me that this is really boring when they just have to chill out for these first 2 minutes. And if you're experiencing that, that's okay. It's mental discipline just as much as it is physical discipline. So just a passive stretch. We're just hanging out. Just starting to explore, okay, what sensations does this bring up? Getting really present with your body here. I'm going to be here for about 30 more seconds. Again, you're rotating your torso towards your back leg, and you should be feeling this stretch in the hip capsule. All right. In about 10 seconds, we're going to start our progressive angular isometric loading. So get ready to start driving your foot down into the ground almost like your foot is a shovel. And really it's starting from the upper leg where you're trying to externally rotate your hip out of this position. And what that does is it drives the foot down. So imagine I'm trying to lift your foot off the ground and you're fighting me by pushing your foot back into the ground. Push your shin into the ground and then start to amp up the intensity. So where you start at 5 to 10%, now you're at 15 to 20%, and then breathe. You're recruiting the muscles on the inner edge of the leg in order to create this action. Hands can come down or they can come up, whatever is easier. Start to engage core. Awesome. More intensity, rooting that foot down into the ground. Beautiful. Let's breathe here for 4, 3, last 2, 1. Awesome. Okay. Come out of that. And now we're going to go into the opposite, the regressive angular isometric loading. So for this one, you're going to try, and I almost guarantee you're probably not going to go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. But it's not about actually moving. It's about recruiting the muscles that attempt to make the movement. You're going to be trying to lift this foot off the ground. I don't care if it lifts or not. I just want to reinforce that. I know I just said that, but don't do something crazy whack-a-mole to try and get that leg off the ground. No, just use your brain and try and recruit all these muscles on the outer edge of the leg to try and lift that foot up. You're trying to go more into internal rotation. Breathe here for 4, 3, more for 2, and 1. Okay, relax, rest it down. All right, you did it. Great job. Slowly, you're gonna face the front of your mat. Come out of that stretch. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Awesome. All right, now let's come to tabletop position. We're gonna save the work with some rotations. So let's start on the right side here. I'll turn around so you can see me. You don't have to move at all. Let's just, not too much stress today. I just want you to do a nice circle. So draw your right knee into your chest. And then like you're doing a fire hydrant exercise, you're going to lift your right knee out to the side. That's abduction. Little teeny movement here. You're going to rotate your knee towards the ground. And now you've created more space to draw a giant rainbow. Keep your hips square, so no rotating in your spine. And then draw that right knee in line with the left knee. Awesome. Let's do that again. Right knee into chest. Fire hydrant it out. Slight internal rotation. Knee points towards the ground, foot towards the sky. And then big rainbow up and down. Awesome. Other way, you're going to draw your foot now towards the sky. And then you're going to do a big circle out and draw your right knee towards your right tricep. And bring it in towards the body. Foot to sky. You're going to externally rotate the leg. Draw the right knee towards the right tricep. And then bring it back in. Beautiful. Disco. Switch sides. You're going to draw or plant both hands down. Now you're going to draw your left knee into your chest. You're going to, like a fire hydrant, abduct, internal rotation, little teeny movement. It's like an inch. And then you're going to shift, kick your leg up towards the sky, draw a giant rainbow, and knee back down. We're going to do that one more time. Draw your left knee into your chest, fire hydrant, abduction, slight internal rotation, knee points towards the ground, and then foot hooks up towards the sky, glutes engage, and draw that left knee towards your right. Other way, foot to sky. You're going to externally rotate the hip and then big circle, draw your left knee towards your left tri. Knee to chest, knee to knee. One more time. Left foot up towards the sky. External rotation, draw your left knee towards your left tricep. In towards chest and bring it down. All right, let's take a moment. Good job. Don't worry if that was new. Just congratulate yourself for doing it, for making it through that video, because those are not easy exercises at all. Not only are they physically challenging, but they're also mentally challenging because they recruit a lot of new muscle groups, which is sometimes a process for the brain to learn. So be gentle with yourself. Come back to this. Keep practicing. You can do this as much as you want, but even adding it as little as like once a week is really helpful for your hips and your mobility. So highly recommend coming back to this. Let me know any comments or feedback you have. I'm totally open.